Round of applause as she makes her way to the podium. Thank you.
Thank you very much, MEC Zuma, for welcoming us to the province on behalf of the provincial government and the Premier of the province, Menomsa Jubengube. Vuyomvogo, our program director, thank you for steering this program, and I'm sorry that we have taken more time than we had anticipated, but you will understand that we're talking about the most important issue, food, that all of us, without it, we may not give you the concentration that you deserve. Your Excellency, my sister, Ambassador Josepha Sako, Commissioner for Agriculture, Rural Development, Blue Economy, and Sustainable Environment. Dr. Akunumi Adesina, President of African Development Bank, my brother. Honorable Zuma, our MEC, who has just introduced me. Minister Papasek, my brother, and to welcome you also. Councillor Ntuli, representing Honorable Mxolisi Kawunda, our Executive Mayor of eThekwini Metro. Dr. Denise Denya, Vice President of African Bank. Dr. Haile Gabriela Bebe, Regional Representative of FAO, my brother. You are now South African. Dr. Ravi Ketapal, Chair of Global Forum for Agricultural Research, Jifara, and the representative who spoke here, and Dr. Aluan Fal, Chairperson of FARA, Dr. Lala Razafinjara, Chairman of the Board of Directors of CADESA, Dr. Yemi, the Executive Director of FARA, my sister Lindiwe Sibanda, and my sister Agnes Kalibata, representing AGRA, and Lindiwe, representing CGIR. Distinguished guests, delegates, ladies and gentlemen, I know there are also board members of both CADESA and FARA who are here, as well as other distinguished guests whom I have not mentioned by name, but as it is said, all protocol observed. But most importantly, our scientists who are here from various institutions, nationally and also in the continent. I also want to recognize our partners who are here, some of the development partners who have also contributed in their speeches, the European Union in particular. And I must say that it is exciting to be amongst you today. Well, for FARA, this is not the first time. This is a repeat. You were here in 2007 in Johannesburg, where you had your General Assembly, and my colleague minister then, Lulu Kumwana, gave a welcoming address, but also we're here in 2002, when Papasek and many of us ministers of agriculture were fine-tuning what we needed to present to the heads of state and government, having formalized the comprehensive African Agricultural Development Program, commonly known as CADEP. So here you are home, and I hope this is not the last invitation that FARA will decide to come back to South Africa, and in particular Durban, this is the second time. I must say that for me, as a co-partner for hosting this event, I'd like to dedicate it to the young people, particularly our young agricultural entrepreneurs, but also our young scientists. Because you are the future, and you are the one that will enable us to discern what we need to do next in order to feed Africa's people and the world. On behalf of the government of South Africa, led by His Excellency President Cyril Ramaphosa, I welcome you to South Africa. It is equally an honor for me to give opening remarks at the 8th Africa Agribusiness and Science Week, the 9th Forum for Agricultural Research in Africa's General Assembly, and the 3rd General Assembly for CADESA. I must say it is quite interesting that FARA has continued to be resolute in ensuring that we reach our objectives that we set for ourselves in the development of CADA. Hosting the Africa Agribusiness and Science Week signifies our commitment to leveraging these opportunities and addressing the challenges head-on, as we heard from our guest speaker, my brother Adesina. This platform serves as a catalyst for collaboration, innovation, and knowledge exchange among stakeholders from across the agricultural value chain. It brings together policymakers, researchers, farmers, investors, and entrepreneurs to explore sustainable agricultural practices, cutting-edge technologies, and investment opportunities in the sector. The great minds gathered here at the Durban International Convention Center are our hope in resolving the perpetual global challenge of 828 million people currently facing inadequate access to food, taking into consideration the conditions of a perfect storm created by climate change, population growth, energy supply, and water scarcity on global food systems. The theme for the 8th Africa Agribusiness Week is, I quote, linking science, innovation, and agribusiness for resilient food systems, close quote. This theme is expected to galvanize us to advance African food systems and bring about the reality of our African leaders of transforming Africa into the global powerhouse and addressing food access challenges of the continent by 2063, leading towards the Africa we want, as we said, in the development of the African Agenda 2063. I must say that for me, as the Minister of Agriculture in the continent, I would like to thank our partners, particularly ADB and others, who made it possible that we develop responses on how we could address the issues of food security during the height of the pandemic. This has indicated to us that our institutions remain committed in supporting public policymakers to make sure that interventions we make are supported by clear science and are evidence-based. It is important to recall that in Agenda 2063, the focus of our sector includes having modern agriculture for increased productivity and production, environmentally sustainable and climate-resilient economies and communities, and well-educated citizens and skills revolution underpinned by science, technology, and innovation. The deliberations for this week are therefore a clarion call for Africa to harness its resources and enhance investments in the development of sustainable agro-value chains to build resilience of our food systems. Our continent, just as alluded by Her Excellency Ambassador Sako, faces numerous challenges aggravated by the climate change that are weakening our food production system, and South Africa, as this country, is no exception, as we heard from our MEC on what happened last year in this province. It was not only the floods, but also we experienced the desert locust, which actually affected the provinces of the Northern Cape, Eastern Cape, Free State, and parts of Western Cape. As per Africa's reflection on the African Common Position, which we developed as we prepared for the World Food Summit, we asserted that for the last 2.5 decades, climate change has received attention as a disruptive challenge for Africa's food system and constitutes a significant threat to food security and poverty reduction efforts on the continent. The continent's food system and those directly dependent on them are still vulnerable to environmental degradation and climate change shocks such as drought, floods, higher air and soil temperatures increasing in frequency and intensity. As we already hear now, that in the coming year, maybe starting this year and ongoing, we might actually face another El Nino. These extreme weather events have a high cost and threaten crops, livestock, and people, thereby risking millions of Africa's food security. Finding climate change solutions for the agricultural sector is thereby key towards achieving the UN Sustainable Development Goals. I'm happy, my brother Adesina, on what you have just said, working with CJR, of what you will do in enabling a number of countries, particularly in our continent, to respond to issues of climate change by developing mechanisms as well as scientific and innovative solutions towards ensuring that they protect their food systems as well as their societies. It is indeed instructive that when successful ministers of agriculture are put at the helm of financial institutions, they know where the money should go. I do not think if we had a non-minister of agriculture heading the African Development Bank, we would have had such focus in agriculture as we've seen during your tenure, and we'd like to congratulate you for that. Rapid population growth, deteriorating soil quality for agricultural production, and volatile food prices are also adding pressure on agricultural production and food security across Africa, thus threatening the resilience of our food systems. Ladies and gentlemen, this is causing a dent on the stride we are making of attaining the Sustainable Development Goals of ending hunger, achieving food security, and promoting sustainable agriculture by 2030. Therefore, effective leadership and investment in science and innovation is critical to ensure that outputs generated through science and innovation are sustainable in addressing the challenges faced by our food system. The resilience and sustainability of the food system will be highly dependent on technological advancement to enable yield increases, efficient utilization of scarce resources, and reduction in post-harvest losses. Agricultural research and development investments are positively associated with higher returns. But these returns take time and often decades to develop, adapt and adopt, and scale up to add value into the food system. I do hope that my colleagues, ministers of agriculture,